Still getting the hang.
Yeah. Looks like we are live though, I think.
We should be live. I hope so. Hi,
Hi,
live.
Haley. How you doing today?
Girl, I'm good. Yesterday it was 100 in Denver. I don't know what it is today, but summer is in full.
Yikes. Yeah, it's really hot here, although it's not exactly 100, but it's in the low 90s.
Hmm,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, summertime. I see my logo. It's perfectly above my head when I'm sitting.
It looks
Like
good. Yeah. I just kind of dunk over here. Now I'm not in it. But like let's high five. I know, super cheesy.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Oh,
but like also
people are like, we did not come
wait.
for this.
Oh.
But
Oh, like yeah.
it's complicated.
FYI, we're still getting used to this. I see on our LinkedIn it says pre-live, and I'm not sure what that means, but we should be live, in fact. And also, my internet is down, everyone, so I'm on my phone. I'm hoping that this still is working. If y'all can see me, but yeah, it says we're live on YouTube, and maybe we're live on LinkedIn. Wondering if
I see us.
awesome.
We're in my header of my.
Awesome.
I don't.
Okay.
Technology.
Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, here we are.
I
And
want to, Laura.
wait, what?
I want to go ahead and tell me about your global map before we start.
Yeah, well, I also want to hear about your new venture that you just launched. So we'll do a little show and tell. Yeah, the global map was just the result of like 6 months and then also a few years beforehand of just tracking everything that's happening around the world in the non-alcoholic space, especially, I mean, obviously I'm all about the brands, including one of the brands that we're talking about today. But there are a bunch of non-alcoholic bottle shops and booze-free bars all around the world.
Hmm.
I, by my estimation, we're about 300 different places, ranging from South Africa to Japan to Poland to, of course, the UK and the US, Australia, New Zealand. There's some stuff going on in Chile and Mexico. I mean, just about every continent has something going on. So it's pretty wild to see. And I finally launched it out into the world. And now I just have to keep it up to date, which is another bear in and of itself. But it's super exciting. I'm excited to have it. And yeah, I encourage everyone to just go to zeroproofnation.com. All you have to do is enter your email to access it. For now, we'll see if that changes. But that's the exciting news. And then let's hear your exciting news, Haley. It looks like your headline changed a little bit. Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Congratulations on your map. I think it's crazy that
Thank
you have it.
you.
I have to say more about it. That's a lot of time and research that goes into even finding all of those places. I'm confused about how you even found them, like across the world. So
Lots
good
of
job.
Googling, lots of Googling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting though.
Thank you. Yeah.
So me and my business partner Joni launched a studio called Super Cult, and we're a brand and photo studio. So we do a bunch of brand strategy, brand design, and then we do content creation, photography, and all of that. So super excited. We just launched less than a week ago. You can find us at studiosupercult.com to see some of our work, but we've been getting this together for the past 8 or 9 months. And so it's
Wow.
thrilled to see it launch. Like the day we launched, I was like, wait a second, we have a company now.
Yeah. It looks great. The website is fire. And I know that this was what do you call it, like a concept brand Geist, but I want that brand to exist. It looks great.
For sale. Anyone that wants to
Yeah.
start an NA wine brand named Geist with the branding we have, it's for sale. So let me know.
Awesome.
But yeah, I would love it if it
Awesome.
was real. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So speaking about global non-alcoholic, and by the way, for those who don't know me yet, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Laura Silverman. I'm the founder of Zero Proof Nation, and I'm with my co-host to my right, maybe to your right, and Haley. Which side are you on? So anyway, I'm with my co-host Haley Jordan, who just introduced herself, and we've never met IRL. I'm in the DC area, and Haley, tell the class where you're from.
I'm in Denver, Colorado. So if you're going to send us something and you want us to review your brand, we're in different places. So
we're in different places. Yes, we are in different places. And so I'm 100% booze free. And Haley's a mindful drinker. And we thought it would be really cool to get each of our own perspectives as someone who's booze free, as someone who's a mindful drinker, but also with our specific skill sets, kind of bringing them together to talk about what's working in brands, what might be improved upon. I was a judge at the World Alcohol Free Awards in London earlier this year. So I've learned how to taste on a more professional level. And of course, Haley, you are just a beast with branding and design. And so this is sort of the genesis of that show. And we met on LinkedIn, one of our favorite places to be. So that's how we're here.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had a few episodes up until this point, but today we are going to be talking about Roots Divino. We have
Roots Divino, yes.
I will be tasting and talking about the Rosso.
And I will be tasting and talking about the Bianco. And these guys are from Greece. So talk about a truly zero proof nation. Nation kind of stands for like the whole globe. Roots Divino comes out of Greece. I mean, it is like produced, bottled, shipped from, all of that above. That didn't make sense, but in my mind it did. It's all coming from Greece. So that is super exciting. The drink of the summer, of the year, of like the past couple of years has been a spritz, very like aperitif based. And so this is different from some of our past spritzes and aperitifs that we've done, but it still kind of comes in that same ritual, in that same hour that you would have it. So, how do we want to do this first, Haley? Sometimes we talk about brand first, sometimes we talk about taste. We're just kind of, Nicholas is with us. Nicholas is one of the co-founders. His brother Manos is the other co-founder, and he's tuning in from Greece. Oppa! So yeah, how do you want to do it today, Haley? Want to give it a...
Let's do a taste. We always usually taste something, and then we could talk a little bit about the label, and then we can go ahead and try it as a spritz because we both have our stuff set up. So do you want to taste real quick?
Yeah, so what I like to do is I usually taste neat first. And what that means for those who don't know, but y'all probably do know, that's just tasting it in a glass or in a little jigger, just to sort of taste it first before we make it into a drink. So I'm going with the Bianco. Now, isn't this cool? Like the bottle, like it allows you to pour a little bit less from it. So I'm just going with I'm just doing even like a 1/2 ounce pour just to, and you smell to kind of get the aromas going. That's good. That's really good. So both of these, by the way, have wormwood in common. And wormwood, I did some Googling, is just like a very bitter herb. But the Bianco has rosemary and thyme. And yours has, if you want to read what your bottle has.
Bitter orange. I don't know how to say this. Gentian
root. Yeah,
and
that's also bitter. And wormwood. Yeah. So apparently it comes like these particular expressions come from a old-timey ancient recipe from Greece. So we're drinking some like medicinal stuff here. So hopefully, we'll like age in reverse starting now. Okay, so let's build a little basic cocktail. Now, you can get fancy or you can get basic. And what I love about a spritz or an aperitif-based drink with like a light vermouth or a darker vermouth is that you can literally just layer it in a glass with some tonic and a piece of citrus on top and call it a day. You could get more fancy than that, but that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. So it pairs, the Bianco pairs nicely with lemon, and Haley has got orange, which pairs nicely with the Rosso. So one of the things I learned, a tip and trick, is that you can either squeeze citrus to like express the juices and the oils inside before you cut it, or you can like roll it around. But that's just a sample lemon. I have one that's already, and I'm gonna squeeze it in my juicer to get some juice coming out of there. Okay. And then this is preview for when I have a TV show, right?
Martha Stewart, a cooking show.
Martha Stewart, I know exactly.
And I'm just gonna also mix in my tonic.
Yes. And what tonic do you have today? I thought I saw Betty Buzz.
Betty Buzz, which I hadn't had before, so it's really good.
Yeah.
For all the better for you people, it's made with agave syrup instead of like a high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, nice. And I've got one of my favorites. I do love Betty Buzz. I've got one of my favorites, which is Fever Tree Refreshingly Light tonic water. So it's just got less sugar, but it does not have aspartame. So none of that.
Because they did
and one of these,
everyone was saying it wasn't.
Yeah, shows them. Now I don't even have anything to stir it with, but I don't care. I'm just gonna and now I'm gonna layer a little lemon in there. It might be okay. So here's my spritz.
Cheers.
Cheers. Don't spill it on your laptop. If that's not summer, I don't know what is.
It's very nice. It's
super refreshing. Yeah. Now I'm just, going to be sociable with you. I know that you only got the Rosso, correct? That's all that arrived, but I'm just going to be sociable and try a little bit with you. Yes. So that has a much stronger aroma and taste.
Mm-hmm. Is it more bitter?
Still light. A little bit, but not much. They both have the bitterness, but they both have the sweetness to them, and those herbs. It's a gorgeous liquid. I love it, and I love the bottle that it comes in. You don't find. I wonder if this is a custom bottle, but you don't find that square bottle very often, at least not in the non-elk space. So, if people are interested in learning about custom glass bottles, talk to me. I know some people. All right.
Well, I love what it tastes like. I love the slight bitterness. You have to have that in, especially NA, because remember we talk about, is a product juice or not? And this obviously isn't juice. Like when you're selling an
correct,
it tastes like juice.
Correct. It's got to be adult.
Right. And going into the label, I like the bottles too. I've noticed Roots has an alcohol line as well, and then this is their NA line.
Correct. Divino for divine. Little halo. This is supposed to be a halo, I think.
Yeah, so they have different shapes based off of the different product lines and ingredients, which I think is really cool from a brand perspective. That's really working. I love the colors of, this is one of my favorite colors in the world, this reddish orange.
I'm adding a little bit of this.
Favorite. So I love the way that they do the red and sort of that white with the blue. Something we promise to be really honest all the time when we're reviewing all of these brands, because we want everyone to, I think I like the label a lot. I notice on the alcohol version, it's more placed over clear so that you can see the product. And I think that's really special. I would like to see more of the product coming through. Maybe this is white, silk screened white or something. And there's room to not cover up every side, because this color is beautiful, and even the white.
That's a good point.
So I really love the system that they have of showing the ingredients and the different types with this shape. It works well. So that's something that's working great. But I would love to see more of the product showing through.
That's a really good point, because we've talked about this before, especially when we were talking about Gia and their recent relaunch and how gorgeous that color is. But we taste with our eyes, and we also taste with our mouths, but we taste with our eyes first, so to be able to see the product more and not just have to look on the back. That's a really great point. Okay. What else is kind of popping out to you? And am
So
I still here? Okay.
I'm looking at my notes. The symbols are looking great. I love that. I want to see more clear, maybe even color. Like, hey, why not silkscreen color on
Mm.
top of this instead of white? I think it'd be a little bit more elevated, but I love the colors. And then moving to the website, when we talk about brand, we talk about strategy and brand design. So as far as strategy goes, the website confused me a little bit by the URL, which is finestroots.com, because I kept searching Roots Divino. So I think there could be something cleaned up there. Also, some of the infographics, I love them sharing the brand, where it comes from, that it's ancient basically through this infographic. But I would love to see it be a bit more on brand. So using some of these same clean, this line quality, these shapes to kind of illustrate that infographic through online. I really love to see a brand from strategy to full execution be consistent and really bring that
Yeah.
story forward.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have here? I have lots of notes. I think that the brand is so based off of their roots, right, and their heritage and this ancient sort of drink. So I'd love to see more storytelling on that. I think it's here, but I think it could be pushed a bit further. Like, why are we keeping this ancient beverage alive? Why are we creating this brand, and how are we connecting ourselves to it today? Which ties into community as well, kind of telling that
Yeah.
story and able to stand behind that. So I think it is there. They do say on their Instagram, a craft spirits with a story to tell. So I'd love to see that story coming through more. And, I talk a lot about photography and social media. Brand strategy starts with that, the written word, the research, the positioning. Then it goes through into the identity system, logo, color, typography. They're doing great with their identity system. And then it's really executed fully through the content we share. So photography, I was looking at their Instagram, and I think it seems to me like there's a lot of user generated content, maybe, or from bars, which is great. You need that, especially for building a community, having those user generated pieces of content. Also love to see, this brand is so greatly tied to Greece. I would love to see more imagery. I mean, rocky beaches. I would love to see this paired with some Greek food on a table around, at sunset. I would love to see the story being told fully of, like, how are we tying ourselves to those ancient roots, and what does it look like today? And we are so proud of where we come from. You said this was gold crafted and everything. It's a product of Greece. It says handcrafted. I want to see how special that is. I want to see the ingredients being sourced. I want to see, cool. These are from 2015.
Yeah.
They're redesigning it.
Oh, that's amazing,
Great.
Nicholas. Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, we just like to cover it all, but I think that you get it. We see that in some of the best brands. But what do you think, Laura? Did you have a chance to look at the branding, or do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. One is that you mentioned about some user-generated content, and I noticed that there were some collaborations with people that I know and am familiar with in the non-alcoholic space. We have like Douglas from Spirited Away. There was Josh from Ocean Beach Cafe, which is doing some really amazing things out in San Francisco. I know that Nicholas was actually just in DC, and I wasn't able to meet up with him, but I mean, he reached out to me and said, like, hey, I'm in the area. I'd love to meet with you. So I know that he and his brother are doing a lot to connect with people in the NA space. And this is a product. I featured them on Zero Proof Nation. Gosh, I think I want to say in like early 2022. Maybe it's been over a year, so I've been familiar with them. They're becoming a bit of an international darling in the non-alc space, and they do have something really interesting and different than what's out there. I wanted to kind of go back a little bit to talking about this logo, and I do love the iconography. Is that the word that I'm using? Yeah. But does this mean anything to you, like the actual ROOTS? Like, do you read it both ways, or do you just kind of recognize that it says roots? Like, I wonder if that means anything.
I don't know, but from a consumer perspective, yes, that could be confusing, but I think we have it up at the top. And so,
right.
I'm not sure if it's positioned in a way that means something. I know that all of their other lines do have different shapes and different ways that it's written. If that was the only thing on here, it could get confusing, but we do have it at the top, which really helps you see it more as a logo and not quite just reading it.
Right.
Yeah, if you
That's
do
a
go
good
to the
point.
website, finestroots.com, you will see all of their lines and, you know, some
And
are in
then
the
they have another thing called back to the roots project. So there are a couple of, and I'm glad to hear that Nicholas is already thinking about where this is going, because I'm familiar with it and you're familiar by proxy now, but for someone who's just kind of discovering it, it is a little confusing in terms of where do we go, like, and how is Roots Divino and Finest Roots, how are they connected? Are they connected and all of that? So telling more of a cohesive story on the website, and maybe, you know, a separate URL for the non-alc and a separate for the alc. But it also lends itself really well to the mindful drinker, right? Like you could have a low alcohol cocktail with Roots Divino as part of it, and then one of their finest root spirits as another part to just kind of lower the content. So I see why they're having it all together on the same site. But
and it could be as simple as changing up the headline a little bit. You know, when you land on the site, I don't know what it says right now. I'm going to it. Just being really clear on that headline of what the offerings are. I also saw a video on the Roots Divino page, kind of about the history, what they do, what they're involved with, and I thought it was great. I just wish there was a voiceover rather than reading the copy, because it was music and then you read the copy. So I think another praise is like, that's a great video. I would love to see a voiceover. And you know what? Excuse me. I know that when we're working with CPG brands, there are budgets involved, but there are ways to do some really great things with branding and storytelling that don't cost a lot of money. You just have to know what to do. So even getting a great voiceover from Fiverr and putting video, you know, you don't have to hire a voice actor, or like, you know, there are simple ways to do some of these small changes that don't cost, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, that just kind of help tell that story and be a bit more clear.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone who's watching, we've got a couple of folks tuned in, although I can never really tell, like it says 0 with the eyeball, but I know we have a few people. Besides Nicholas, has anyone actually tried Roots Divino? And if you have, you know, drop your impressions in the comments. Where could you sort of picture yourself drinking this?
I think this would be a really good thing to bring to a friend's house for dinner on a patio. Obviously, if I want to, I should drink it in Greece. You know, I could transport myself to Greece. I just got back from Europe though, so I probably won't do that. But I think a patio, a afternoon sort of get together.
We will happily take sponsorships to be sent to Greece. Not gonna lie, would totally love that, so that Haley and I could do part 2 over there.
We both travel.
We both love travel. Yeah, I could see that for sure. It's great because this lends itself really well to a bar menu too. You can make a low proof drink. You can make a no proof drink. And it's something different. I know that Derek Brown over in the DC area, he's a fan of Roots Divino, and he's made some pretty cool drinks with it. So it's really great for like the fancier mixologists. But like I said, when we started out, you could bring it to a friend's house, or you could just have it solo, and all you need to do is just add a little bit of tonic. Or I wonder, maybe like ginger beer or ginger ale, or you could really kind of spritz it up with maybe some like bubbly. I could see some naughty AF in there. I'm not a mixologist by trade. I don't even play one on TV, but I sometimes like to get a little creative and see what I can come up with. So it has a playful, there's definitely applicability to play with it, but it's also really easy to work with, I think, which is nice. Lends itself well to like a new.
Our show too, our NA Dossier show is, you know, you have an expertise in a certain area, so do I, but we're both not mixologists. But that kind of empowers the average consumer that's starting to get into this NA space to know that like you can play with it and see what you like, and you don't have to know exactly how to mix it. I mean, on the bottle here, it tells you ice, tonic, and an orange slice. I know it can be confusing and a little hard to figure out all these NA brands, how to drink them or how to mix them.
Yeah.
But this is a super simple way to do it. And, you know, you don't have to be a mixologist.
And I would love to see this. By the way, I totally borrowed their directions because I needed it. I was like, wait, what do I do? Oh yeah, did I do this tonic before? Could you see like an ice cube, like a piece of citrus, if it's like a lemon for here, an orange for there, and a glass, like kind of making it with like icons? I think that would be fun.
I would love
for
that.
sure.
I would love to see more iconography in that way. And other like little touch points. But in general, I think the brand's really nice. And I think it does the job really well. I think other than being a tiny bit confused on the website, which Nicholas said they're redoing, I think that it's great. And I would definitely recommend it to those wanting to try out some new NA brands.
Yeah, and it stands out on a shelf or in a home bar for sure, because what we're seeing a lot of, and it's totally understandable, is a lot of the same stock bottles, which is just a matter of like, I am not a beverage producer, and I have so much respect for those who are creating brands and putting them out into the market, and like that's kind of like your baby up for judgment. So I get it, and I respect everyone who's trying. But to put the intention forward to have something that stands out, that's different, I think also really speaks to part of their branding, is that they wanted something unique and different.
Right.
And it shows.
And when you're talking about, you know, even the brand, like they're so proud of where they come from and their roots. And like, this is a proud bottle. I think that's important to mention too when we talk about branding. It goes through every single thing, including the stature and the way your bottle stands. This is a tall, you know, semi-wide, proud bottle. And I think that it's important to think branding through all the way into the bottle if you can. And I like that. It's very tall.
Yeah. It is very tall, and it has, you know, it says in a Greek recipe so it's like even in the very bottom, it's just tying back to the roots of what we're drinking. So I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan. And like we said, especially on your side, Haley, but you've got some really good suggestions. And I think it sounds like Nicholas and his brother have already been thinking that through. So that's a really good thing. But yeah, this is a product that I really love and wanted to share that with you too.
Yeah. So I guess if I could sum it up, I would just want to see the brand telling the story more lifestyle sort of imagery that brings us into that feeling that they're conveying, and that the roots and the ancientness of it all. But
certainly not saying that anyone should copy anyone, but we know that from a previous episode, we know that a brand like Gia does it really well. They tell a story from their unboxing experience. They tell the sort of like user persona story, you know, you feel like you're in it. And then with their social media, it just feels like we're there. Like it's a feels like Gia moment. So certainly not saying that Finest Roots has to do that, or Roots Divino. See, oops, I just got confused, my bad.
That's okay. It's a good lesson. Gia is not chill, which is why I love them, right? Down to like playlists, to opening the package, to everything. Like they put so much effort into that. They're not laid back about it. They are very on top of their branding, which I think makes it really impactful. So everyone can improve on a set of things, you know, so it's not just these guys, but it's great to think about and to move forward. Okay, he said our whole bottle designs were made by a small agency in Athens.
Wow. Okay. This is a really unique thing that we have one of the co-founders of the brand is with us, like giving us live feedback, which is really great. And it shows, like, we want to thank you, Nicholas, for for being open to this, being open to listening to our feedback, and wanting to just listen and improve. But it's a fantastic product to start with, and there's so many things that are going well with the branding and everything. So it's just exciting to have. It's exciting to have like one of the founders with us.
Yeah, and you know what? Every episode we should have the founders in the comments, because it adds so much. When we were talking about the website, he's like, no, we're redoing it. That's so good to know. And then as we're redoing it, you take some of what we've said and you implement some new icons or whatever. So yeah, that was really beneficial. Thank you, Nicholas, so much for sending us your product. It's amazing. I can't wait to bring it to a patio with friends.
Yeah, totally, for sure. And just kind of keep on doing what you're doing, Nicholas. Keep reaching out to the non-alc community. You're doing a great job. And should we tell folks who we have coming up in our next episode as a teaser for who's here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I believe it's going to be in 2 weeks from now. We have Starlo Wines, who are going to be going through our NA Dossier process, and this will be our first wine that we're featuring. So that's going to be exciting. Did you get your package yet, by the way?
I did, and you know what? The sticker's so cute on the outside. I didn't open it. I want to open it on camera, so I'm going to unbox.
So yeah, I opened it to just like peek, but I'm not opening anything. I do want to chill some stuff in advance.
That's a good idea.
So, but then I'll put them back in the box just for like the sake of the unboxing. Yeah, so stay tuned for August 5th, same time. We'll be going through Starla, but yeah, thank you so much for being here, Nicholas, and everyone out there. Get yourself some Roots Divino. It's amazing.
Yes.
And I guess we'll see you. Yes. Okay. Thank you for
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.